100 naira eko. That's some eko.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to the program Lagos This Morning. Today being the 26th of January 2023, we'll be discussing about trending topics in Lagos State and also across the Federation. I am Olajide Taufik Olamide.
I am Adeni Adiola. Welcome to Lagos This Morning.
All right, let's go straight into the main headlines for the day. Tinubu slams Buhari. Naira Hoarding can't stop my victory. I will end incessant strikes in Nigeria varsities if elected. Tinubu. Not on tap jewel, says Obi in Gombe. Attacking Buhari won't save you, Atiku tells Tinubu. Atiku will lose presidency over plot to punish me, Wiki. Concerns as over 3 million students face disenfranchisement. Nigerian student in the UK, others risk deportation. Pope Francis declares homosexuality a sin but not a crime. All right, let's go straight into the details. The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has blamed the lingering fuel scarcity and hike in the fuel price in the country on the handiwork of some saboteurs. Tinubu spoke on Wednesday during the presidential campaign held at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Many Nigerians have been groaning over the scarcity of fuel and the hike in the pump price, ranging from 270 naira to 400 naira per litre in recent weeks. The flag bearer, who spoke in Yoruba language while addressing the crowd, said there was a deliberate move by some people he described as saboteurs to derail the coming election. Tinubu, who did not reveal the identity of the people behind the scarcity, also accused the same people of hoarding the currency to stop the coming election. What do you think is accusing?
How is the currency affecting the election?
You know, through vote buying.
Okay.
Yeah. That means for him to even come out to say, even if they hoard the Naira note, that he will still win. That means he's banking on vote buying.
This man is just exposing himself. It was one that said he was going there for national cake. Now he's saying hoarding the money won't stop him from winning the election. Is it like, was he going to like buy votes?
Well, it's obvious. It's visible to the blind and audible to the deaf.
Okay.
Because if he's the only candidate complaining of, you know, the new Naira note, and also the first scarcity. Peter Obi is not complaining, Kwakwanso is not complaining, Atiku is not even complaining. But for him to come outside to say that even if they hoard the Naira note, or even if they refuse to sell fuel, that he will still emerge as the next president. Okay. So that means probably he's banking on those Naira notes to come out so he can buy as much as possible.
We are not sure, but probably.
Yeah, that is what he's saying indirectly. Indirectly, because if you are complaining about something, that means you actually need that thing as at that point in time. If other candidates are not complaining, then that means they just feel like, okay, it's even a kind of a plus for him to even use to campaign. It's a plus for him because other candidates will come out and tell you this fuel scarcity, if I get there, I would solve the problem. But he is saying that he is feeling like some people in the presidency,
they are trying to stop him from winning the...
And if you look at it critically, he's talking to Buhari. He's talking to President Buhari because...
It was Buhari that initiated the new Naira note.
Exactly. Because it wouldn't have been initiated without the consent of President Buhari. Because as at then, even the House of Senate, they didn't really buy into the idea of this Naira note stuff. They didn't really buy into the idea because...
Are you sure it's not APC that said 6 months should be given?
Of course.
They will be the one. Like 6 months should be given for them to be able to stack up their old Naira notes so they can take to the bank. And
Buhari said yesterday that this thing, they signed this bill into law November last year. Yeah. So from November, December, January, about 90 days. Even if you have trillions in your house, like cash, you should be able to, you would have taken it to the bank by now for exchange. So he said there's no going back. By 31st January, it's gone. If you don't bring your money, your Naira note to the bank, then you can go and throw it away. So I think it's actually attacking President Muhammadu Buhari in that way. That is what most people think. Because you can't be attacking the federal government. The federal government in court is Buhari.
Yeah.
So it's the representative of the federal government. So you're not coming out to say that even if there is scarcity of the Naira note or something, that you would win, then that means you are banking on this Naira note to win the election.
Exactly.
Why would you be banking on that kind of thing? If APC has done well, you should even be confident. If I were to be the president of Nigeria and I've done well, I won't even go out there to campaign anymore. I will sit in the comfort of my home and tell them, I've done this in your community, I've done that in your state, I've done this one. You can just take a look at it and just vote your choice. And if I say vote for me, I'll just say vote for me because I have done this in your locality.
Yeah, I'm coming back to do better.
And I'm even doing better. And there are some projects I'm still doing in your state and in your locality whereby I would even need to complete the project. So you can vote for me.
Yeah.
If you have done well, you won't need to be, buying vote or
At all.
or expecting to pay some kind of thugs or something to disrupt election. Okay, so that is that. On the next one, I'll end incessant strikes in Nigeria varsities if elected, Tinubu.
Okay.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has promised to put an end to the incessant strikes in the nation's university system if he emerges as the nation's president in the February 25 presidential election. Tinubu will make the promise while addressing the mammoth crowd at the MKO Abiola International Stadium, Kuto, Abeokuta, during the presidential campaign of the All Progressives Congress. Noted that his administration would also introduce a student loan program that would ensure that no Nigerian student is unable to complete his or her education because of school fees.
It was the one, okay, it wasn't the one contesting for presidency then, but it was the one that made the promise to us that 4 years will be 4 years. Now 4 years has turned to like 6 years for some students. So I don't believe anything that Tinubu is saying now. Because first he has said he's going there for national cake to have to have the share of the national cake, and someone said it is Tinubu's turn to enjoy the national cake. So what are we saying? So he's promising please excuse me, I beg. This man is probably going there to flex. I'm sorry. Probably going there to probably seeing that place as a place whereby he can rest.
Like it's his turn to go and loot the nation's treasury.
Exactly. So I don't believe him.
Well, there's one reason why I like social media. The social media, just like Facebook, Twitter as well. Before when there was no social media, you can easily misplace videos whereby you won't see them anymore. But right now, you can go back and still go and look at all these videos that have been stored in the cloud or something. Maybe you can go there and always see it. It's on YouTube, it's on
everywhere.
Twitter, it's everywhere. Tinubu said it plain. He said your 4 years would be 4 years. He was campaigning for the APC, and we can't separate APC from Tinubu. There are two things.
Tinubu is part of APC.
APC is part of Tinubu as well. So they are the same thing. And if this current APC didn't do it, didn't fulfill that promise, then he was the one who even made the promise, not even President Muhammadu Buhari. So if they couldn't do it during this present administration, then what's the probability that he would do it? I can't see him doing it. He has said it before, they didn't do it. So how would he actually do it now? How would he do it? So those kind of things that he says is on question mark. It wouldn't aid believability. Because now people would doubt him. You said it before, you didn't do it. Why? You're not coming back to say you would. How do you intend to end that strike? He didn't say it. How do you intend to give this loan to students? Did you give loan to students in Lagos State?
Nope.
So if you didn't give loan to students in Lagos State, how do you want to give loan to students across the 36th state of Nigeria?
Probably when he's done having his own share of the national cake.
I think that is it's a very good idea, but it is not achievable.
Exactly.
Because let's say he has given loans to students in Lagos State now, he would have said that, okay, he has done it in Lagos State. How did he do it there? He would come out to explain, okay, I did it this way, I added it inside the Ministry of Education budget or something, or the Commissioner for Education oversaw those things. But he didn't do it in Lagos State. And then we look at the northern part of the Nigeria, they don't really, value education like that. Most of those children, they are out of school. So how do you now intend to do what you didn't do in Lagos State?
In Nigeria.
What didn't do for about, let's say, 12 million people? You want to do it for
over 200
million people. It is not just possible. It's not possible. So that's just our opinion here. On the next one, not an untapped jewel, says Obi in Gombe. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, on Wednesday touched down with his campaign team in the northeast state of Gombe, otherwise known as the jewel of the savannah, with a promise to secure and make the north the jewel of the country. Obi told a rally of mammoth crowd as well as town hall meetings of women and youth in the state that he and his running mate, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, have identified the vast arable land in the north as an untapped jewel that will make Nigeria a production country and end the current status of consumption. The Labour Party flag bearer told the people that a rebirth of the country is not achievable without turning the vast land in the country into their own gold and oil. What do you think?
I believe Obi has the capacity. See, there are some candidates that will talk that will not believe them. Why there are some that will talk that we believe them because of what they have done.
Yeah.
We can trace what Obi has done in a number of states, and I believe it's going to bring that kind of change to wherever it's going to, like, if he should become the president to Nigeria, she gets. So him saying like it's going to make what's that state?
The arable land in north. To make
I think Obi has done his findings and investigations of all these states to know what these states can do, what they can produce, and how they can go about it. So that's just it.
Well, I think other candidates, apart from Peter Obi is the only candidate that has really done a research into the country, into various parts of the country, and then what they really have there that can make them grow. Because if you look at it, the south part of Nigeria, that is where we have the oil. And those people, they can't depend on farmland or something. Even they can't even fish, because those oil has actually destroyed their waterways, whereby those fishes would actually die. And so those parts would depend mainly on the oil. Then the north has this land. Even the land that is just there, just an open land, is even more than the space that people are living in. Just about 65% of the north is just open field. If those parts of the north are if there are agricultural products there, like there's just farmland there, Nigeria will be able to feed itself. Just like Peter Obi said, I think Kaduna State or Bauchi State or something, he said the state is bigger than Netherlands.
Yeah.
And Netherlands are
stable electricity.
They are feeding themselves and they are still exporting it.
Yeah.
So if just one state in Nigeria is bigger than the entire Netherlands, that they can feed themselves. So that one state, if they are only doing agriculture, they will feed the whole Nigeria.
Exactly.
They would excel. So I think it's the only one actually saying different things, because Tinubu, so far so good. He didn't talk about the vast land in the north. Most of them are only banking on this oil, and we can't continue to depend on oil every time. We can see that the Westerners now, they are now changing the narrative. They are now coming up with electric cars. So if there are electric cars everywhere, the oil will just go to waste or something. And if there is stable electricity, then you won't need to buy any fuel anymore. It will just be there.
You don't have to queue for like 5 hours or more than 5 hours, or fighting at the filling station just
just like the video we saw yesterday.
Exactly.
Those two guys were fighting at the filling station.
But there was actually an ambulance there. So when they are done fighting, probably the ambulance will...
Maybe that was why people didn't even try to even say anything about the fight. Just fight and let ambulance people do their work.
Bam.
Maybe when after one person killed the other person, we just put him inside the van.
The ambulance.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. On the next one, attacking Buhari won't save you. Atiku tells Tinubu. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has accused Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, of attacking President Muhammadu Buhari. Atiku said this in reaction to Tinubu's controversial remark in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, on Wednesday. Tinubu, who campaigned in the state, has alleged that fuel crisis, Naira redesign, were employed to sabotage the 2023 election. Atiku said, obviously frustrated by his inability to stop the cashless policy and currency redesign of the Central Bank of Nigeria that will curb vote buying and enhance the credibility of next month's election. The presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, has begun crying over his imminent defeat.
So he's even not scared of Buhari like this. So.
If he's not scared, he won't come out to say that kind of thing.
Just like they are currently scared of Peter Obi.
Something like that. But who do you think can win this 2023 election?
I don't know, but there'll be a shocker. That's just it. People that
Do you think? Okay, let's say among the front runners now we have 3. If you are to
among the
remove
front
one
runners,
person, like 2 main front runners.
if I was to be given like a veto to remove
No,
one person,
not just like a veto. To choose in between, like among these 3 people, who are the 2 main persons that would fight for the vote? Among Tinubu, Peter Obi, and
Peter
Atiku.
Obi and Tinubu.
Do you really think it's Tinubu?
Okay, that will still be leading.
Yes. Like if we are to choose among those 3, if we are to choose like 2, like who are the 2 major people out of the 3 candidates that would actually really fight for this thing?
Because Atiku, the G5 governors are yet to support him.
Yeah.
So if I should say Atiku, that one is, I'll just lose my money on him. That's true. But let me say, like, probably...
But what about Tinubu?
Tinubu will embarrass me. Because he has issue with his health.
Okay.
And I think he tends to forget things.
Yeah, health-wise, that's an issue.
So, I'll go for Peter Obi.
So Peter Obi and Tinubu would actually
Tinubu.
battle it out. Well. I did a little bit of research yesterday and I realized something that I think that Tinubu is not really as powerful as people perceive him to be. Because if you look at it critically, from 2003 to 2011 that Buhari has been contesting, he had a constant 12 million votes. Constant. Either win or lose, Buhari. He has from the north, 12 million voters voting for him. Like, he has a loyal fan base.
What if all those 12 million voters go for Tinubu and they are from the north?
Those 12 million voters, they are loyal to Buhari. For someone to vote for this same person in 2003, this person didn't win. And 2007, you came back to vote for that same person, getting that same kind of vote, 12 million. Then 2011 again, 12 million plus. So now, I now calculated, and I sat down now, like, how many votes did Buhari actually use to win the 2015 election? How many votes is it? 15 million votes. So the whole of APC and the whole money, they could only gather 3 million votes. So Buhari has always been coming with his 12 million votes. So I'm even thinking, like, I think Buhari would be doing a payback to Tinubu for coming now to Abeokuta to say that he made Buhari the president.
How will he get back?
Because now there is the Naira design.
Okay.
They refuse to bring out the Naira note just so that the vote buying, they'll be able to curb vote buying. And there's also beavers that will curb rigging.
Okay.
And I think from what Tinubu said yesterday in Abeokuta, it is visible to the blind and audible to the deaf that is banking on that vote buying. One,
yes.
that is it. Then also on that rigging, because last month, majority of APC senators came out to say they don't want the beavers.
Most of the people coming out for the against the beavers and the new Naira notes, most of them are from APC.
Yeah.
And just because they won't be able to like rig the election and also buy votes.
So I was just like, if one man, Buhari, could always come like 3 times with 12 million votes, then the whole entire APC, or let's say Tinubu, gave him just 3 million votes, and you say you made this person the president. How did you make him the president?
You know, Tinubu, Buhari is currently doing some rally for Tinubu. What if those 12 million votes go for Tinubu? Tinubu will become the president.
Buhari has never openly endorsed Tinubu, like vote for Tinubu. Buhari didn't say it. In all the rallies he has been going to.
Vote for APC.
He said, don't vote for someone that will steal your money. He said it openly.
So that means Buhari is actually not sure of...
Maybe we can't say, I don't know, maybe he's low-key obedient to Nigerians. I didn't say Buhari said something. Because I think Buhari is trying to live a very good...
What about Atiku?
Atiku?
People are sidelining Atiku.
No, Buhari is
still... Is it because of the G5 government?
First, Buhari is still the president of Nigeria.
Okay.
So he must not really show that he's leaning towards any part of the... this thing.
If Buhari is not supporting Tinubu, he's probably going to support Atiku.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm now saying it from a perspective that it might even be Atiku versus Peter Obi that would end up really fighting for this thing.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a shocker.
Because if we look at it very well, during the PDP presidential primaries, Tambuwa, Wiki, and Atiku were the front runners for the ticket. But at the last minute, Tambuwa stepped down for Atiku. Then Atiku got the vote. Then Atiku defeated Wiki. Don't you think that, I think anybody who gets that 12 million Buhari vote would win this forthcoming election?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I would win the election.
So would he now give the vote to Atiku or Tinubu? Because he's still in the APC.
For Buhari to have come up with something like new Naira notes and also beavers.
Then that means he's not making it safe for APC.
Exactly. And Tinubu to have said, hoarding of new Naira notes won't stop me from winning the election. They would have had some kind of discussion, maybe, why did you do this? I thought we are friends, something like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the welfare of the country.
Yeah. And I think Buhari is trying to, be a kind of hero because he has dealt with us. He has dealt with Nigerians. So maybe this time he's trying to amend his ways.
Yes, something like that.
And then because he's also he's a beneficiary of a free and fair election.
Yeah.
It was even before they declared the winner in 2015. This guy, he considered defeat. Jonathan, he congratulated Buhari first before he even declared the winner. Like, it was just like, there's no need to go to any court or something. You've won already, congratulations. Then I think he wants to do the same thing. He's not trying to maybe fight or support anybody.
If the election is going to be probably free and fair, Tinubu won't stand a chance. I'm sorry.
I think Buhari is leaning towards where Nigerians are
going to be banking on Atiku and Peter Obi. Yes, because most of the people supporting Tinubu, they are old people. The young ones, the youth, are supporting Peter Obi. But who are the ones supporting Atiku?
I think most people that are supporting Atiku are mainly from the north.
From the north.
The majority of them, they are from the north. You won't really see much of the supporters of Atiku in be the south, the southeast, or the southwest here. It's not as if when he gets there, they won't see the crowd, but it's more of a vote buying. Because in Kano State, there was a mammoth crowd. Last election, during the campaign rallies, there was a mammoth crowd for Atiku. But Buhari defeated him, flawless victory in Kano State. All the local government declared everything. So it's just all the crowd you are seeing here and there is just crowd buying.
Crowd buying.
It's your money that will get to the crowd.
Because like Pastor said, because it's not possible for
two presidential candidates
to conduct a rally
in the same place,
in the same state.
Because they are buying the same crowd.
Exactly.
That's just it. Okay, on the next one, Atiku will lose presidency over plot to punish me, Wiki. Governor Nyesom Wiki has said the alleged plot within the People's Democratic Party to punish him for insisting on equity and fairness in the party would make the party lose the presidential election. Wiki at the Rivers PDP campaign rally on Wednesday in Mogo Town for Gokana local government area said his insistence on equity, fairness and justice to be practiced within the party has become a political crime for which the camp of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar allegedly jeers to punish him. Governor Wiki described the perceived threat to deal with him as laughable, as those threatening would never win at the polls and consequently not have such opportunity to carry out their threat. I think I think the G5 governors would be divided because one of them now, Autumn, has endorsed Peter Obi openly, and they're still remaining 4. I think they'll be divided.
What Wiki said was that no presidential candidate has come to him, like to campaign for him.
For him, yeah.
So probably if Peter Obi should go.
Do you think Atiku can win without Wiki's support?
Or without the G5 governors?
Without the G5 governor support?
I don't think it's possible.
I think Atiku would be banking on an alignment with Buhari, playing the northern card with him. Like, I'm from this north,
so
you are from
Buhari
the north as well.
So Buhari will now give 12 million votes to Atiku?
I don't know, maybe. I think it would be, because he has this kind of confidence that he can win without the G5 governors. Then if he's been confident, that means he's depending on somebody else who would give him an equivalent of what the G5 governors have. And the only person right now in Nigeria that can give him that kind of vote is Buhari. Which other candidate has ever been pulling 12 million votes consistently in every election?
We don't know
Which
what
other
can
candidate?
happen, you know? Peter Obi has actually got a lot of supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the youths are more than the oldies?
Of course, the youth are more than the
most
INEC
of the
chairman came
youth-
out to say that this election is
Mostly for the
youth.
youth.
Yeah.
And most of the youths are clamoring support for Peter Obi. What if Peter Obi has more than 12 million votes?
Well, we have about over 90 million eligible voters. So
Peter Obi should have like...
the margin will be much this time around. Let's say even if just half of them just come out for vote, or like 60% of them, that will be over 60 million votes. And gain for people to come and take them. So, well, I actually think from my perspective, I think if you look at it very well, for Buhari to actually get 12 million votes consistently, then Tinubu claiming that he made Buhari the president gave him 3 million votes. Because that, if we bring it to the normal scenario now for a layman to understand, it's just like you having 12 million naira and you want to buy a car worth of 15 million naira. You try getting it this year, you couldn't buy it. Even next year, you didn't even get more than the 12 million as well. So, as they said that Buhari was crying, so you were now crying like, oh, I couldn't get this right, it's 15 million. So I now like gave you this 3 million to add to the 12 million naira. You should go and get this right. I now went outside like, oh, I made her, like I bought the ride for her.
Because of 3 million.
Because of just the 3 million that I had dead to the money.
Million.
After the 12 million that you have. So that's just the meaning. So I think even if Tinubu actually went to Abeokuta, he said it in Yoruba, but it would be explained to Buhari in Hausa language, and it would feel like, oh wow. So you made me, I had 12 million votes, you gave me 3 million to it, and you are saying you make me the president.
But why is he always like talking about Buhari? Is how you made Buhari, how you made Buhari?
Well, you know, he contributed to Buhari being the president, but he can't say that he made Buhari like after God. If those 12 million people refused to vote for Buhari, Buhari would have lost.
Exactly.
And if it reduced, he would have lost as well. So he had his own vote, but it was not enough. And he had even more than what he brought to the table.
So if Tinubu has 3 million votes, how is he going to become the president?
There's no way. You can't even be third in the election if you have just 3 million votes. It's not possible. It's just like having a table that has 3 legs. And you put the first leg and say you own the table.
Most of you coming out for the rally for Tinubu, you know, most of these people, they're actually after what they will eat, but they know what they want.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
I think they just want him to get there so that they can have an access into that into the treasury. And there's also one thing I noticed. I noticed that for 12 million people to vote for Buhari, that means they actually love him.
Yeah.
But what does Buhari have to offer them?
Nothing.
Buhari is not really rich like that, unlike Tinubu. And now he has 12 million people loyal to him. And I think most people that are loyal to Tinubu is more or less of like a fear, because they know what he can do. And there's a big difference between loving someone and being afraid of someone. Someone you like, you won't want to hurt the person. But someone you fear just because the person is above you, the person who is below will just be looking for a slight opportunity to take the person down. You'll be like, hey, you have been the boss all this while, you have been calling the shots, me too, I'll do my own back now. So that's just it. Okay, on the next one here. On the next one, concerns as over 3 million students face disenfranchisement. Barely 30 days to Nigeria's presidential election, the world's first big election of 2023. The INEC has faced myriad of complaints. This includes difficulties in picking up voters' cards, alleged extortion by INEC officials, and reported refusal to distribute the card to non-indigents in some states. Flip TV reports that as the January 29 deadline for collection of the permanent voter cards inches closer, there are fears that about as high as 3.2 million Nigerian students who were at home during the continuous voter registration exercise might be unable to participate in the 2023 general election. The development is the fallout of the 8 months of protracted industrial action embarked upon by the members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, for the larger part of 2022. I think some students would actually force their way home.
To vote?
Yeah. But there's a particular school, I've forgotten the name of the school. They set their election so that the date, they set their exam in such a way that the election will fall on the day of an exam, like in between.
Seriously, if these students say in this life, you have to sacrifice something for what you want. If all these students, if the exam is going to happen on that election day, if all of them
They can't fail all of them.
They can't fail all of them.
That's just it.
If all of them refuse to come to class, like, no, we are supposed to go and vote, so we are going to vote. So we are not writing exam. It's not possible for you to fail all of them. And, and if you decide, if the school should decide to fail all of them, they'll protest.
If by chance the person they want emerges as the president,
the school is gone from.
Then that means
or the lecturers.
Even the lecturers might not be gone, but the president will just tell them that these children, it is their right to vote. They can come back. You can even extend. You can give them more time to read and even organize the exam again. It will just tell them to reorganize the exam for them.
And this INEC extortion, like they are extorting money from people.
Yeah. In some part of Nigeria, they will tell them before they collect their PVCs, they will tell them to pay a certain amount of money. Yeah. And some as well, they are hoarding non-indigenous PVCs.
It's not everything the INEC chairman can oversee.
Yeah,
I just feel it should put in trusted persons in all these places.
Yeah. So
he can be able to know what is going on. You can't just put any other person in these positions, because if you should keep same person, like people that you can't trust or you can't rely on in these places, things like this will keep happening. Yeah,
and the people won't trust the INEC.
Probably in the next election, it will still happen. And people won't trust the INEC.
Yeah. That's just it. That's it. Okay. So I actually saw a chat yesterday between a guy who uploaded a chat on Twitter where his friend was like, I want to come home to vote, but I don't have TFE. The guy was now like, don't worry, I would pay for your money, you would come home, then you pay for the money to go back. Okay. So some people were now commenting under the tweet like, okay, if anybody wants to come home to vote, don't worry, we'll pay for your TFE.
Or probably there should be a bus.
Maybe there would be a bus or something.
Bus that will convey
that will just convey all of them.
Exactly.
Like if you are going from, let's say, Ogun State, if you are coming to Lagos State, there will be a bus in this particular location on this day. Just come, it will take you home. Then from the bus stop that will drop you, you just find your way to your house.
Do you know what I'm scared about now is, in most of these states that the bandits are operating, what if they come and disrupt the election?
Disrupt this election? In all the states, okay, so far so good during the election, during the campaign rally, how many rallies have you heard that bandits came to destroy?
They did bandits that time. They did bandits that time.
No, now, presently.
Okay.
How many campaign rally? It's because these people knows the bandits.
They
can't come to
them.
Something like that.
Wow.
Bello Toji came to BBC radio or something. So there are some people in the federal government that knows about the banditry, and they are, enjoying out of it. They are having their shares of the ransom if they kidnap people. So these people, how many of the rallies have they came to? Like the bandits, how many? They didn't come to any rally. So that tells you that there's a kind of connection between the two. Because whenever they're having their rallies, you don't even hear of any bandits.
At all.
But after they've gone, or some other times, then you hear that they've killed so amount of people, they've kidnapped some people. Okay, on the next one, Nigerian student in the United Kingdom, others risk deportation. Nigerians and other immigrant students in the United Kingdom currently face a high risk of deportation after completion of their studies, following a row between the UK Home Secretary Suella Braverman and the Department of Education. According to the Daily Mail, Braverman is currently seeking to cut down the amount of time foreign students can stay in the UK after graduation. It was reported that currently immigrants who travel to Britain to study can stay behind 2 years after graduation. Immigrants who travel to Britain to study can stay behind 2 years. But the Department for Education is said to be resisting Braverman's plan to cut that to just 6 months, after which they have to have a skilled job that makes them eligible for a work visa or leave the UK.
That one is still better. At least they will look for a job, so maybe them have a work visa.
They must have a job or something.
I think they.
Right now, it is 2 years after your graduation, you can stay there.
But now they want to cut it down to 6 months.
To 6 months. But the Department of Education does not want it. So there's still a kind of tussle between Braverman and the Department of Education. I think the Department of Education are thinking like if they should do that kind of thing in the UK, like there wouldn't be more of influx of students anymore.
No,
They would switch to probably the US or Canada.
Going there. They are just Nigerians are leaving the country.
Yeah.
Have you seen this thing that these people have been posting like, please don't fall sick because they are no good. Most of the good doctors are leaving the country already, which is the truth. So it is not left to us to vote rightly.
Yeah, because there's no way someone won't fall sick. There is no way. There is no two-way thing about it. The body is not a machine. Even if it's a machine, the machine will break down at times.
But it's just to curb the number of immigrants coming into the country.
Yes, and even to make them work. Because if you have much of those kind of population in your country, if they are working, there won't really be crime. The crime rate will reduce because they would be busy doing something.
Exactly.
So that's just it. Okay, on the last one here, Pope Francis declares homosexuality as a sin, but not a crime. Pope Francis have declared homosexuality a sin, but not a crime, while condemning the unjust laws which criminalize gay people. In an interview on Tuesday, the 86-year-old said God loves his children just as they are and called on bishops to support the laws to welcome LGBTQ people into the church. He told the Associated Press being homosexuality isn't a crime. Being homosexual isn't a crime. He acknowledged Catholic bishops in some part of the world supporting laws criminalizing homosexuality or discriminate against the LGBTQ community and refer to the issue in terms of sin.
So being a gay, being a lesbian, or being bisexual, or being a transgender, or being a queer is not a crime, but it is a sin. I think it is a sin.
What's a sin? What is a sin?
Probably being a lesbian.
No, as in the English meaning. Generally, what is a sin?
What is a sin? A sin is probably an immoral or illegal act that one...
No, now...
I don't understand what you're saying.
Now, let's not bring it into biblical aspect because, it's the biblical stuff. A sin in the Bible, is it not a crime against God or crime against humanity?
Against God.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, for him to have come outside to say something is a sin, is that not automatically a crime?
No, he said it is not a crime, but it is a sin.
But
in as much as it is not affecting anybody, being a lesbian does not affect any third party, or being a gay does not affect any third party, or being a transgender, or being bisexual, or being a queer does not affect anybody. So it is not a crime, but it is a sin to God. That is what the Pope is trying to say.
Now, if someone attempts to kill himself, the person will be charged to court.
Yeah.
Now, does that affect any other person? No, it's only affecting himself. So now you are not only,
Wait, so if I try to kill myself, I'll be charged to court.
Yes, now.
Why?
Why would you try to kill yourself?
Because I don't own my life.
You don't own yourself.
And the government does not own my life. So what
you
is
can't
their
do
business?
anything with yourself.
Who owns me?
Like
I mean,
attempted suicide. They would even first of all bring you
Who
into
owns
like
me? Who
a
owns
rehab
me?
center. Like, why are you doing this thing to
Sorry,
yourself?
who owns me? Is it not God?
It's God.
So why are they trying
It's
to
a crime against humanity.
Which humanity?
And then even if you start doing it now, it will influence other people's
people.
behavior.
Okay, that's true.
So that is one thing
so
about
do
it.
you
It's just
think
like saying, okay, let's say exposing your body anyhow outside. Where people will say it's just my body.
Okay, do you think being part of the LGBTQ people or community is a bad thing to the community?
See, if you start from one person, it will trigger another person to do it.
What I think about this LGBTQ is because it's not allowing people to meet their soulmates. That's my own. It's not allowing people to meet their soulmates.
If someone is anybody's soulmate, they won't call to choose
so you
the
can't
same.
tell me, okay, God would have seen
gender.
all these things.
And it's even in the Bible that if you do the same thing with a gender, with something you're supposed to do with the opposite gender, if you do it with the same gender, it is a sin. When something is a sin in the Bible, is it not a crime against God?
That means people part of the LGBTQ community, they are disregarding God.
Something like that.
So they are not disregarding.
And it's even a crime against humanity
how?
in its own.
I want to know how.
According to the Bible, it's not inside. Or you didn't read the Bible. Say, I'm not a Christian. I'm even quoting Bible for you. And you didn't even know where I'm even quoting.
I know.
It's in Old
Testament.
God.
I know.
Which part of Old Testament?
It's not your business.
Can you see that? Oh my goodness. All right, okay, it is well and good. I think it's just like, I think the Pope is just trying to bring the LGBTQ gang into the church. He doesn't want to discriminate them.
Exactly, you can't discriminate
Like everybody,
them.
we are children of God, you know. I think it's just normal for him to say that.
Yeah.
Because as a Pope, as a religious leader, if you discriminate people and just chase them away like that, they'll feel like...
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's say, for example, now you have a gay friend.
Okay.
Do you like push the person away?
Like for example, God, see finish.
Will you
God,
push the... Let's say you have...
They say, for example, if I have a gay friend...
A gay friend.
A
gay friend, will you push the person away?
Okay, so we'll jump that question. We'll jump that one.
Where are you jumping to?
I don't even...
You can't have a gay friend. If people are not gay partners, you don't understand. But it's just your friend.
What do you mean, friend?
Or can you leave your...
You can say colleague or co-worker. Which one is friend? You have to know the difference between acquaintance, colleague, co-worker,
okay, let's say
neighbor.
For example, now,
you can say neighbor.
Let's say for example, Manfred is your colleague and is a gay. Would you push him away?
Thank God you say for example.
So you can't leave your girlfriend with your gay friend.
One day we will catch my brother and colonize his brain. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh my God.
Okay. So we've come to the end of the program today. We've discussed so many things. You can drop your comment. What do you feel about the forthcoming election? Tinubu slamming Buhari on the Naira redesign and also the fuel scarcity. He accused Buhari of trying to sabotage the election against him. So what do you feel about it? Now it is now APC versus APC. So Tinubu is now feeling what the average Nigerian is feeling.
And there is PDP versus PDP. That's the G5 governors versus, you know.
It's still there, so let's see where the election will go to. Okay, on the next one, I will end incessant strikes in Nigeria versus elected Tinubu.
Tinubu that said 4 years.
I came out to say 4 years will be 4 years.
Now 4 years is like 6 years.
7
or even
years.
7 years now.
Even the 4 years in Lagos State, it didn't work. Because there are some schools that went on strike as well. So I don't even he has done it in Lagos State now. That would be okay. And even said he will come up with student loans for over 200 and for over how many students?
If you are a student and you collect loan, once you are done with school, police will be waiting for you.
Even all those loan app. Do you know what it is because of people now? Some people are not even. Some people. There's someone even here right now that they don't even want to even pay those people. If they want to scam them and run away. You now pay someone will now okay. Majority of Nigerians now would go to school on loan.
They will not travel out.
They will run away. How do you want to collect your money? Okay, and the next one, Peter will be saying that the North has untapped jewel, which is their land. I think Peter Obi is that's true. Though it won't just change everything like just a magic wand or immediately or something. It will take time.
Ideas and how to.
But he said something like people might not see immediate result, but they might not see 100% result, but they'll see 100% effort.
Do you know what I'm actually amazed? He's actually taking steps even before he becomes president. He's doing his research. Yeah.
He knows what is there. He knows the problem there before actually it's not a guesswork or something. Okay, so Atiku, attacking Buhari won't save you, Atiku tells Tinubu. I think it won't save him. It will do more harm than good if he attacks Buhari. Because Buhari is still the president and he has a kind of autonomy. If he tells the northern part of Nigeria, like his 12 million voters that support this person, they would support the person. Because he's not really giving money to these people. They are just loyal to him. But if you are using money to buy someone's loyalty, what happens when you are unable to give that money again? When you don't have the money to give? The person will just switch loyalty to where the money comes from. Okay, so on the next one again, Wiki saying that Atiku will lose the presidency. You have plot to punish him. Well, Atiku might not lose, then Wiki too might not. Wiki
has nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose. He's not running for any office anymore.
Exactly, so he has nothing to lose.
And I think PDP will actually win in the state because he has things to use to campaign.
Exactly.
He has worked in the state. So, to a very large extent, I think PDP will retain that state.
And people love Wiki.
They love Wiki in the state as well. So the 3 million students facing disenfranchisement as well, I don't think it will happen. Because if students can actually come out during the End SARS protest and during the registration for the PVCs, I think most of them will just leave the school and come home. Majority
It's
of
not
them.
possible for all the lecturers.
And it boils
follow
down to the
students.
parents as well, because you sent your child to the school.
Do you want them to
And you can
suffer?
actually withdraw that child back.
Exactly.
That give me this child. I'm paying the school fees. So even if he has extra year, don't worry, I'll pay.
I'll pay.
Even if he has carry over, the bills to pay, I'll pay. So something like that. And also Nigerian students in the UK, there's still a tussle between the education ministry and also another person about the UK Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, and the Department of Education. There's still a tussle between them, trying to reduce the stay of non-indigenous immigrant students in the country from 2 years to 6 months. Let's see how that goes. And on the last one, the homosexuality issue of a thing. Well, the Pope is just being the Pope, just a religious leader that he is. Everyone, we are all
trying
children.
to be a father to all.
Yes, yes. And when you are a father,
You
can't just discriminate on
Exactly.
some of your child. You know that this boy is a bad boy, but Yoruba will say,
treat them-
can't just pursue a bad boy for
Into
lion
the
to eat
lion's mouth,
into the
abi?
lion's den or something like that. Sorry for that. Okay, so we've come to the end of the program today. We'll come your way again tomorrow for another exciting edition of Lagos This Morning. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Flip TV, and also do well to join Christian Chukwu on the next program by Standards. Till we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.
100 naira eko, ẹ̀sán bọ́ seko.